Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. I'm your host, Damon Thomas.
And I'm your co-host, Orlando Lewis.
Our special guest today is Mr. Ron Godfrey.
Good evening.
Thanks for being here today.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Okay, before we get into who really Ron Godfrey is, what was your upbringing like?
I grew up an only child. My siblings had already grown up and started their families. So it was pretty lonely sometimes, but I mean, I had fun. And, I grew up, my father was a pastor. So I grew up a preacher's kid, you know what they say about the PKs.
Right.
And so, I went to church a lot. And so a lot of my upbringing came up, home, church, my routine was pretty much the same all the time. But I had a pretty good upbringing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You traveled all over the world, acting.
I haven't traveled over the world yet, but I'm getting there. It's just been between North, South Carolina, and Georgia right now. But my career is going really well. I'm blessed and I'm happy with what's going on.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, we're going to switch gears for a minute because, man, you got your hands in all kinds of stuff. And we'll be here like 6 months trying to cover everything. So, but reading your bio, and one of the biggest things that stood out is you started acting at the age of 42. Tell us a little, what brought that about?
Oh, wow. I was actually living in Alabama at the time. And I actually just woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I'm going to become an actor. And literally 4 months later, I was on stage making my debut as an actor.
Wow.
And then 3 months later, I did my first short film.
Wow.
4 months later, I did my first feature film. And then not long after that, I was on the set of Love Thy Neighbor with Tyler Perry.
Yeah, that brings my next question because I was about to ask, what's it like working with Tyler Perry, man? That got to be huge.
Oh, wow. Working with Mr. Perry is awesome. It's an awesome experience. He is no nonsense, but he's really fun to work with.
Yeah.
He's really fun to work with. He takes care of his people. He looks out for everybody. But when it's time for business, it's time for business. He might crack a joke or laugh every once in a while, but he's all about his business.
Right. Now, who's been that number one actor that when you was coming up, when you saw it, you just wanted to be there, and that's what inspired you to become an actor yourself?
Well, actually, I never wanted to be an actor.
Oh, wow.
I've always wanted to be a singer.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was my biggest inspiration.
Right.
Stevie Wonder. And it wasn't until I turned 42, I kind of started paying attention to it. And I said, I'm going to become an actor. And one actor, well, a couple of actors stood out to me. And I would have to say Samuel L. Jackson was one of them.
Right.
And along with Denzel, of course. And so now I'm like, I would give anything to, be on the set with Samuel L. Jackson right now.
I mean, you been on there with some heavyweights now because reading your bio again, I saw that you have been on set with Robert Townsend.
Yes.
That's all-time great.
Oh, yeah. That was on the BET series American Soul. He actually directed my scene. I was in the third episode of the first season, and I was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, after we shot that, I left for Denver the next day, and then I got a call saying that Robert wanted me to come back.
Wow.
So I was already gone.
Awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, if you got that one kid out there looking, just like when you was a kid yourself, and you say you was looking at the Samuel Jacksons and those type. If that one kid out there looking, and he looking at Ron Godfrey, he said, "I want to be Ron when I grow up." Mm-hmm. What would you tell him?
I tell him, first of all, stay in school, stay humble. Be a good listener, because you go far when you listen. Mm. Like when I'm on set, I listen. Awesome. I listen to the directors and everybody's involved. I'm a sponge.
Right.
I keep my mouth shut and I keep my eyes open and my ears open, and that's how I've learned, and that's how I've gotten to this point in my career.
Awesome. Mm. That's real talk. Wow. Ron Godfrey.
Wow. So from the writing, the 2 books.
One book.
Yeah. Writing one book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one coming out.
Yeah.
Stage plays, like Orlando said earlier, you've been around a lot of heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the depression component.
Mm.
When did Ron realize that I'm going through depression?
Well, first of all, I want to tell everybody that depression is real, and is not to be looked down upon.
Mm.
And a lot of people look over depression until something happens, unfortunately. I even talk about it in my book, how it's not talked about enough. It's not enough attention being given to it. And I realized that I was going through a depression actually later in life, and I look back over a lot of things that happened. I realized, wow, I was going through this. And then I was talking to my mother one day, and she revealed to me that when she was pregnant with me, she was depressed a lot. So she said some of it is hereditary, on top of things that I had, gone through in my life to, cause the depression to come about. Yeah.
Wow. Now, going through what a lot of people they don't know that they're going through depression. So what is that like when you're going through that phase, and what can you tell that person to give them that confidence to come out of it?
It's very dark, very lonely. And when a depressed person does not really confide in people, they're not quick to, because of the fear of rejection,
Right.
the fear of, if I share something with you, there's a fear of, you may decide to, leak out my information or anything like that, because confidentiality is very important when you're dealing with a person that is fighting depression. And what I would tell somebody is, seek counseling, just take your time. And when you're dealing with somebody that's depressed and they want to talk, the best thing you can do is listen. Don't always have an answer.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because a lot of times they just want you to just be there to listen. They don't want you to say anything. They just want to get it out.
Right.
Right.
And that's where I was at one time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that also helps them.
Exactly.
Because it gives them a sense of feeling that that they have that person.
Exactly.
That they can share their feelings with, and that understands them.
Exactly.
And that too alone can bring them out.
Exactly.
So that's very, very key.
Definitely. How has depression affected you personally?
Well, it's not as bad now as it was, I'd say, even 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Sometimes the thing about it, a person that's depressed, like I could be standing right next to you bawling and you wouldn't even know it.
Wow.
Because it's a lot of it is internal, but then when I get to myself, it just spews over. You know what I mean? And we are walking among a lot of depressed people and we don't even know it.
Wow.
And it does take an effect, it has a long lasting effect on your life. And, what upsets me is that some of our, physicians, they're quick to put you on medication.
Right.
And a lot of times all you need is a listening ear.
That's it. Right.
Like I said previously, a depressed person more or less wants to just talk, get out what they're feeling, and they want to know that they can confide in you. They want to know that they have found a safe haven in you. They don't have to worry about the information getting out or even you judging them, because that's part of what their problem is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are triggers like for you?
Oh, sometimes I don't have as many as I used to.
Okay.
But there are different triggers. It could be something I hear on TV. So, I remember, not long ago, I was really going through and I was watching a movie and there was a lot of triggers in the movie. And what I did, I cried. I cried for at least 10 minutes almost, and then once I did that, my whole demeanor changed. I had gotten it out,
Awesome.
And then it's different levels because you got the sadness and then you have the anger and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's all of this is real good information because as men, we don't, we looked at different when we talk about these things. Or, we're taught as kids, as boys, we shouldn't cry, be tough, and all that stuff, man, it bothers up on the inside.
That's right.
So we walk around like a soda
Yeah.
that you just shaking up.
Yeah.
It's ready to
Explode.
blow, ready to explode.
Right,
So
right.
these things are good to talk about because those people that's watching this show,
Right.
they can look and they can pull from that. And as men, we can feel free
Right.
to express ourselves.
And it's not a lot of men that do it.
That's right.
Right.
There's not a lot of men at all that you will find that will sit down, put a book together,
That's right.
Wow.
and
Awesome.
tell their whole life
Right.
story and tell how depression has affected them and what caused the depression to come about.
That's
You
key.
know, so I mean, I'm hoping that my message today and even through my book will come across as a key or a door opener to other men. Say, hey, it's okay.
Right.
Right.
It's okay to talk about it.
That's right.
No matter what anybody says, you have to free yourself from this.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you go through counseling?
Nope.
No counseling at
Oh
all.
wow.
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I didn't go because first of all, I didn't have the money.
Okay. Hey, real talk.
Real talk. I didn't have the money.
Real talk.
Okay.
And I just felt like I didn't want to talk to nobody at the
Wow.
time.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna deal with this on my own the best way I can, and I made it. Every once in a while, even now, I kind of get in a quiet mode.
Mhm.
And my mother, she's good at telling people, when Ron gets like that, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
He'll come back. He'll get past it because she knows.
Right.
She knows, the whole process.
Right.
So I didn't go through counseling or anything like that, and I actually feel good.
Good.
I feel good.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm nowhere near where I was.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, are there any roles that you will not take because of the triggers?
No, actually, I feel like my best performance will be, will come out of, that. I've watched different actresses and actors that have bipolar, and sometimes their best performance is given when that bipolar is in effect.
Put them in another character.
It puts it puts them on another category,
Mhm.
and their performance is so effective,
Right.
because of where the mentality is at that moment.
Mhm.
So I'm matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do a film, and the director asked me. She said, are you going to be able to do this because of this?
Wow.
Right.
I said yes, because I've already experienced it. I feel like it would help my performance be more effective.
There you go.
So yeah, it does has its pros as well as its cons.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, Ron, Mr. Ron, that was, some powerful stuff, man, that men need to hear.
Yeah.
Tell them where they can get your book from. What's the name of your book and where they can get it?
The name of my book is Crying Out in the Dark, and it will soon be available as soon as, I think, next week. My publisher and I have been working hard, and it's on schedule to be published next week. So be looking out for the website and information on how to, order it, pre-order and everything like that. Actually, you can reach out to me on Facebook to pre-order a autograph copy. Go on my Facebook and just simply Ron Godfrey, or my Instagram. My Instagram is iamrongodfrey, and reach out to me and you can get an autograph copy. And it won't be stamped.
Right.
I'll be autographed. I'll write in it.
Right. Awesome. So all the fellas out there, y'all know how to get this book. Y'all pre-order it, man. Make sure y'all get this, because men, we need this in our lives. We needed to talk about this. That's why we named it Real Talk, so we can be ourselves while we discussing it. And we thank you for it, man.
Of course.
Appreciate your transparency, man.
Of course.
It's not easy talking about
No.
topics such as depression and suicide. And,
Yes.
It's difficult at times. So I appreciate your bravery on today.
Of course.
Awesome message.
Awesome.
Message.
You're welcome.
Anytime you need us, we're here for you. And one of the things I do want to say with Real Talk was very important that Ron said earlier, was the fact that he didn't seek therapy because of the financial situation. Well, one thing that Orlando and I have discussed and what we have built around this project as well is, men, if you're listening and you do need therapy, we are here to help you. We have clinicians on standby 24/7 at no cost. So we will provide all the information you're going to be needing to submit your story, and we're here to help. We need not only talk about this, but we need to get to the next level of how we can deal with our issues. Appreciate it one more time. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Real Talk.